Hi guys, happy World Fringe
Hi,
Day.
Well, Fringe
happy
Day.
World Fringe.
How are
Yes,
you all today?
Really good. Feeling very fringy and festive today.
Awesome. Would you, Amber,
well,
starting with you guys, would you like to introduce yourself and your festival?
Yes, fantastic. Well, we're from Fringe World Festival in Perth. My name's Amber Hasler and I'm the Fringe World Festival Director.
My name's Justin Marshman. I'm the Fringe World Festival producer.
And Fringe World Festival takes place in the beautiful city of Perth in Western Australia. In 2020, it will be our 8th Fringe. And we are very proud of the work that the festival has been able to support, not only for our local artists here in Western Australia, but also for connecting artists on the international fringe circuit to an incredible audience here in Perth. And obviously, our festival takes place just before Adelaide, so it makes a wonderful tour circuit for those artists coming down to visit us.
Perfect, brilliant. David, tell us all about you.
yes. So actually, I have an updating. I mean, every year I have something new. Anyway, so I'm the president of Fringe Italia that cares about Fringe Festivals in Italy and artists, Fringe artists in Italy. And basically now I'm working with the Roma Fringe Festival and Milano Nolo Fringe Festival. It's brand new. They just made the first edition this year, and I care about the international side of them, and even the development of it. So, and this is the new this is the newest. I mean, we made an agreement where I care about the international part of Milano Fringe, especially.
Yeah.
So we open fast development of it for next year because this year was pretty small, but then I mean we made a lot of noises in Milano. It was a very great edition, and so we are just preparing the second year. And I don't know if Davide he got my same name, Davide Verazzani from Milano Nolo Fringe book a slot today. I don't know.
Coming to Edinburgh, so we'll see him soon.
Yes, you do.
All right.
So David, you support Fringe Italia supports festival fringes, but also you do work for the artists as well, don't you?
Yes, actually, yes. So what we support international exchanges. So, for example, like we Kevin from San Diego, and then we would like to have we even if they agree even with the World Fringe, Fringe World, sorry, from Perth. Why not? I mean, it's pretty far. So one of the big things is the trip, the travel. I mean, the travel cost. So it's I mean, it's a big problem probably sometimes. So, but by the way, anyway, it could even also a reason to come over to join Europe or Australia as well. So why not? And we do with California, so we can do the same with Australia. And yeah. And so we are actually for next year. I will promote this side, international side in Europe, trying to find funding.
Yeah, brilliant. That's great.
Have you frozen, or is just doing a
He's
pose?
just coming in. He's on his way in.
He's trying to pose, David, there. So James from Shaftesbury Fringe is joining us. You might need to turn your video and sound on, James, if you can hear us. Amber, tell us how you. Hi, James.
How are you?
There's James from Fringe. We are already recording and talking, so welcome to World Fringe Day. Halfway through the conversation, we're going to ask you to tell us a little bit about your festival. But first of all, I was just asking Amber how people get involved in your festival. How do artists, and how do you have a lot of international artists coming over to your festival?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back.
So I was talking, but nobody here.
You got stuck in cyberspace there.
Amber's
Okay,
just
so
about their festival.
So Amber, go ahead.
I mean, Fringe World Festival operates on a bit of a unique model. We are an open access festival where we support independent venues and producers to host fringe performances during the month of the festival. The unique part is that we also produce the main hub or big hubs of venues and pop-up theatres and Spiegel tents throughout the festival, which are also programmed through an application process. And I think one of the great things about having the two streams is that our local companies and venues are able to present more work on the festival platform, which is really fantastic. And it allows for local artists to work directly alongside some of the international and national artists that do come down and join for Fringe. We like to support our artists through a very generous cash prize awards program. So we make sure that each year we are awarding not only the artists, we have over 150 judges who see most of the shows, or all the eligible shows within the program, which is no small feat. And we do make sure that West Australian artists are represented in those winners as well, which is very important. In making sure that our artists have a platform to move forward to for the world of Fringe. We like to support our artists moving through international tours and national developments. And one of the great things heading into 2020 is we've been very blessed to gain access to an incredible building in East Perth called the East Perth Girls' School. Where we're currently running a winter indoor cinema, but come Fringe 2020, we will be launching a beautiful new hub to complement all the other activity during the festival, to be focused on theatre and comedy and cabaret, and also exhibitions, visual arts, and interesting kinds of installations. And in lead up to the next festival, we've just launched a new R&D program focused on West Australian independent artists, but also our previous winners, to access space to create work or revise work or develop work for the next festival, which is fantastic.
Yeah, cool. That sounds amazing.
Brilliant.
Awesome. James, tell us about Shaftesbury Fringe. Tell us, are you in the middle of it, or have you just finished your festival?
It was last weekend.
Yes.
Which is why I kind of look a little bit rough, because we've just been moving loads of stuff back into our store.
Yeah, you're amongst friends here. We all know that feeling.
So this half of me down is looking filthy, but I think this half of me is probably right. We're a small town in the south of England. We're a small hilltop town. Some people know, if you've ever seen the Hovis advert on television with the boy going up the hill on his bicycle, that's us down in Dorset. The Fringe started 4 years ago as a tiny, small event. 4 years later, we've just finished. It's only 3 days that we cover it from. We have 31 venues in the town over the 3 days. 3 days, 31 venues, 179 acts.
Wow.
It's
amazing.
It's quite something. It has taken the town by storm. And now we've packed it up, and all the bunting's come down, and all the flags have been put away, and everyone's kind of walking around in that little bit of the morning after a really good party, wondering what we're going to put on for them next weekend.
And so it was successful. It all went really well, did it?
It went really, really well. We 4 years, we've grown quite quickly, and because we are basically rural Dorset, we're not a city, not a big town or what have you. We are a town with a population of 8,000 people, and we've kind of got seriously onto the Edinburgh preview. So 50% of those at the moment are comedians. So basically previewing their Edinburgh shows. And we were getting worried that with 179 shows, were we going to find an audience? So that was my biggest concern, that we wouldn't have an audience. We had the most amazing PR team who managed to drag people in from far and wide. And most of the shows are absolutely packed. So now we're getting people complaining like I couldn't get into the show I wanted to get into. But I have my list of I have my list of bad problems and good problems. So at the moment, fundamentally, we have good problems.
Yeah, good. Awesome. And how do artists or performers get involved in Shaftesbury Fringe?
We have, through our website, so basically our job, we go around most of the year signing up the most bizarre of venues. We have the little courtyard garden behind a wine shop where you actually have to go around the counter to get out into the thing. We have hairdressers. We have, we had, it was 85 people crammed into these tiny hairdressers, listening to this three girls singing on the counter. It was just bizarre. But so we go, we find the venues, and we have this huge database online that we put of all the venues and everyone are going. And then through that, we started out quite naughtily that we were going around just going loads of other sort of fringes of what they were doing and seeing who they had. And adding those people to our mailing list, which we don't do anymore because you're not allowed to. Yes, don't do it. Children, don't do it. But in the first year, when we could plead ignorance, so that's what we did, and it was enough that we kind of got the word out there. It's a very, very friendly town, so all the artists are, warmly welcomed into the town, and they now have gone away and basically just spread the word amongst other people. This is where you need to go there. And go and do this. So it's growing and growing. It's Twitter has been quite good. We've had one or two sort of high profile people coming down, and then we stalk them on Twitter and see who they're interacting with on Twitter, and then dive in on those people and go, oh, why don't you come and see us? And that works quite well.
Yeah, perfect. We're talking today, because obviously it's World Fringe Day, we're talking about how Fringe festivals are accessible. And I was just wondering how you all ensure that your festivals are as accessible as possible to a diverse sector of audiences and artists. So I don't know who wants to start. James, do you want to start?
So we basically in the time we are completely open access. So we have no involvement in who is coming down. In the 4 years, there's only one show that we have basically turned around and said we're not happy with this because it was bizarre in a thoroughly unpleasant way. So we basically get the venues and the artists together. We are the conduit that they introduce each other to each other. They work out basically what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, when they're going to do it, and then come back to us, and it is then our role to promote them. But we have no input in basically who wants to come. So it's open to anyone. Anyone can turn up.
Amber, how about you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we are also an open access festival where anyone can register to be part of the festival. We help match artists and venues together to find their perfect season to present. I think one of the things we pride ourselves as a Fringe is that as a platform for diverse ideas and diverse voices, the Fringe is constantly supportive of those messages and stories and artists who like to push those boundaries. And I would hate to think of a day where the festival isn't kind of supporting those diverse voices and ideas within its program and for its audiences. The other element of, I guess, accessibility of when we design sites, when we design these festival environments for people to come along, making sure that they are accessible, incredibly friendly, feel safe and supportive for not only the audience members but the artists is something that continues to be a focal point of ongoing improvement for us, but also how we support our independent venues to operate to a best practice, how we can support them with information and ideas, but in making sure that there's a really consistent and continuous service level there for all people who engage with the festival.
I think adding to what Emma said, it's also fairly important to us that if there is someone who maybe is a bit trepidatious about coming out and perhaps doesn't see themselves on stage, but thinks that perhaps they could, to give them the support to really help them get a leg up.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
Brilliant. That's good.
For me, I mean, actually, I wouldn't talk about Roma and Milano because actually they must do that. but actually they're strictly curated because in Italy the audience is pretty picky. I don't know how to say, but yeah. So it's that festival curated. But for my job, for what I do, actually, with international exchanges and even for what happens after Fringe, this is the new side. Actually, I will care about what comes next. I mean, after that show passed by, what is its future abroad? So I'll try to do that. I'm making connection with, for example, even with Orlando, and I talk about Kevin from San Diego. So I'll try to make a network even here in Europe. So let's see what can we do. But anyway, yes, and for that kind of selection, we just think about what can work in that place. Yes. So we don't put barriers, but it's just about what the audience asks for. So it depends from place to place and audience to audience. So
yeah, so progression routes going forward for the artists, which is brilliant. So we're coming to the end of this session now. And I just wanted to wish you all a really wonderful World Fringe Day. And I'm delighted to see you all and to meet you, James, because we've not met yet. So this is the first meeting. Hi. So absolutely delighted to see you all. And I wish you a wonderful, we wish you a wonderful World Fringe Day. And I hope to speak to you all soon. Thank you very much for joining us.
wonderful. More Fringe days. Bye.
Bye-bye.